Wyck Junior High School in New York. My name is Katherine Fulp-Allen and I'm a female wrestler. Women's wrestling first appeared in the Olympics in 2004, so it's a fairly new sport and maybe not a lot of you have seen it. But we wrestle what's similar to what they wrestle in high school, wrestle freestyle wrestling. There's also Greco-Roman wrestling, which is only the men wrestle, but all the women wrestle freestyle wrestling. So just an easy question. He asked what am I going to do after the Olympics. Most likely I'll get a job. I have a degree in business and finance, so something along those lines, or maybe I'll try and start my own business. But we have a lot of connections in the Olympic world, so maybe I'll work for the Olympic Committee or something along those lines. That's a great question, Claire. So, my father was an Olympian, and so he kind of led the path for wrestling because he was a wrestler as well. But there's lots of ways you can get started in athletics. I think wrestling was something that I really loved deep down. I think that's the most important thing, to find something that you really love. And that passion will help you continue as far as you want to go with it. So the next question from Siri, I would say that I'm definitely a big sweets fan. I really like a lot of sugary candies and Twizzlers and things like that. And in the end, it kind of, you like them too much and you eat too much. So I've stayed away from that a lot. And I never hold myself back. If I really want something, I'll let myself have it because it's not good to torture yourself. But yeah, I've definitely cut back on sweets, and I don't let myself eat quite that many. So Zane wants to know how long we practice. About 2 times a day. Our schedule will change a lot during the years depending on if we have a tournament coming up or not. But most of the time it's 2 times a day. 10 a.m. to right around 12 p.m. So about 2 hours in the morning, and then same in the evening, 2 hours in the evening, 6 to about 8. But that doesn't include all the extra things that you're doing. I have a longer lift. I'll lift heavy weights for a little bit longer than other people will, so maybe I'll end closer to 1. So there's definitely a lot of time, but we make sure that we get a lot of rest in too. So there'll be days where we only have a morning practice, so the evening we can rest. So our coaches do a good job of making sure we have balance in our training and in our schedule. And on Sunday, we usually always have Sunday off. And most of the time, maybe I'll just go for a walk, something simple. So you have to learn how to balance. So Brandy has a great question about making it to the Olympics. The hardest thing is definitely the time and the years that you put into it. Because anyone can work hard. Anyone can work really hard, and anyone can fight really hard, as we have to fight in wrestling. But definitely you put in a lot of years and you put in a lot of time. And I think that's what ends up being the difference between making an Olympic team and not making an Olympic team. People who decide that they don't want to do it for so many years. So right now, if I wasn't training for the Olympics, I would probably continue school. I finished my first 4 years of college, and otherwise I would go straight to my master's degree. And that's what I would be doing right now. I'd probably be finishing up. But then I would, who knows what I'd be doing, you know? That's a really hard question because you choose one path and you don't look back. So I could have been doing anything, and right now this is what I'm doing, and we'll see where it goes from here. today's question about eating and exercise, I think changes come as you realize what works best for you. I think the biggest lesson I've learned about those two things is that being consistent is key. Whether you need to eat something right after you work out, you have to make sure you do it every time, because if you only do it once or twice, it's not going to work out as good. So you have to really work on making sure you're doing something over and over and over. I think with exercise, adding a lot of extra things, maybe after practice doing 10 extra push-ups or doing little things like that, but I have to make sure I do them every time. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned and the biggest change I've made. Miles' question, that's a really great question. Kind of question that makes you get really excited. But the thing you have to remember, especially if it's the night before your competition, whether it's a normal competition you go to or if it's the one that you hope you get an Olympic gold medal at, you have to make sure you do the same thing that you always do. Most of the time, I'll do some relaxation before I go to sleep. But mostly I'll make sure that I'm not thinking too much. I'll watch TV or I'll be with teammates or friends or family just to kind of make sure that I'm not thinking about the competition too much. You have to make sure that everything's kind of level and you're not too excited and you're not too nervous, and so that's important. So even if it was a simple competition or the biggest competition of all, you have to think of them in the same way. So thanks for your questions, guys. Thanks for representing New York. And I wish you guys the best in everything you do. Remember that you don't have to come from a sport that you've been doing for forever, or that you grew up around. You can start at any time, and you can make the dreams come true that you want. And remember, we have our trials next week, and you guys can try and look for me at our Olympic trials. All right, best of luck to you guys.